Alright, based up. We have one last trial. Let's get this shit done. We might beat the game today. What's up, Phoenix? Welcome to court. 7 years, all leading into one verdict. A verdict which you must decide. Is the defendant, Vera Measham, innocent or guilty? The courtroom doors are opening. The trial awaits. Are you ready to begin? Hell yeah. Something inside me. Rising, surfacing. Something important. Lost long ago. It's close now. So close. 10 a.m. Let's get it done. Court is now in session for the trial of Vera Measham. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution's ready to rock. Prosecutor Gavin, how is the defendant, Vera Measham's condition? Acute atropine poisoning. According to her physician, she could die at any time. Thus, her absence from the courtroom today. What? You can't put her on trial without her being here. It is unusual. They should wait for her to get better and do it then. It's so bureaucratic of them. That's being a little harsh, you know. They can't delay the trial any longer, or they risk having no one left to try. A trial without a verdict can only cause grief. The records of this case and experience tell us this. Apologies to the defendant, but the show must go on. Right, if Vera dies, the trial will be cancelled. I'm not going to let that happen. Mr. Wright told me everything that's been going on behind the curtain all these years. I'm going to get Vera her innocent verdict while there's still time. Very well. Your opening statement, Prosecutor Gavin. The prosecution's case is unchanged by recent events. Why did Vera Measham succumb to poison? Because she couldn't live with the guilt of what she'd done. Objection! But Vera was poisoned with atropine, the exact same poison that took her father's life. If you have no objections, I see no reason to postpone the verdict. What we need to worry about isn't the verdict, but the trial itself. The defense holds that Vera Measham is the victim, not the killer. If that's so, then you have to prove something. She was in court giving her testimony before us. How do you propose her killer poisoned her? Nail polish. Oh, and incidentally, it would be nice if you told us who her mystery killer was. The prosecution's objection is sustained. I asked the defense to prove its claims to this court. Tell us how Vera Measham was poisoned. I've got 2 things to prove here. Who did it and how? Which hit first? How did the killer poison Vera Measham? I will focus first on the method used. Any comments before we begin, Prosecutor Gavin? Not a bottle or container of the poison was found at the defendant's body. I see. So the vector of poisoning is unknown. Is the defense prepared to prove how the poison reached Vera Measham? Yes, Your Honor. Very well. What method was used to poison Vera Measham? The nail polish. What's this? My, what a beautiful bottle. I'd like to give whoever designed that a hand. Is that nail polish? It's colorless. Ah! Something the matter? No, nothing at all. So the killer put the poison in this bottle and made her drink it? As Prosecutor Gavin has told us, this is nail polish. Nail polish? It's like a paint for nails. Know any women with red nails? Ah, my wife has red nails. I see. So she's been painting them all this time. Let's recall yesterday's trial. Remember when Vera was testifying to the court? Court is now back in session. Vera seems pretty tense. She's practically chewing her fingernails clean off. Whenever Vera became nervous, she had a habit of biting her nails. Ah! Prosecutor Gavin, When the prosecution had Vera examined, did they check her nails? Bailiff, have them check the defendant's nails at once. Mr. Justice. Yes? Do you know who did this? Do you know who put the poison in that nail polish? Yes, I do. The bottle belongs to Vera Misham? Why do you ask? Know someone else who might have a bottle like this? No. Just check it. Mr. Justice, you are about to accuse someone of poisoning that bottle of nail polish. Please dispense with the chatter. You realize the weight of the accusation. Here, let me show you. Understood, Your Honor. No problem. I know what I'm doing this time. Let us ask. Who poisoned Vera Misham via her nail polish? What's this? Christoph Gavin?
Objection!
What's your game? My bro. There's no way he could do a thing like that. You should know that better than anyone else. Indeed. He is behind bars. I know that. However, that doesn't mean it was impossible to do what he did. What? Ask yourselves when he put the poison in the bottle. It could have been yesterday. It could have been a month ago. Maybe it was a year ago? Or perhaps it was 7 years ago. But Christoph Gavin had no motive for killing this poor girl. It's simply inconceivable. Prosecutor Gavin doesn't seem to think so. That face tells me one thing. Christoph Gavin's own younger brother doesn't find it inconceivable at all. Well, Prosecutor Gavin, if you feel there is a clear and pressing need, then we may have to summon Christoph Gavin from jail as a special witness. Fine. I've known for some time that an impenetrable darkness lurked at the bottom of this. A darkness that has swallowed even myself. Okay, the defense's wish is granted. Ogdoon, baby. Let prisoner Christoph Gavin take the stand. Bailiff, begin proceedings to call a special witness. The witness is Christoph Gavin, currently residing in solitary cell 13 at Central Prison. Sup? Ah, Your Honor, how nice to see you again. Alright, what do we have today? Ah! There's an address on here, and a name I've never heard of. At least, I think so, but it's too blurry to read. This stamp, it's of the Gramarys, isn't it? Why did Mr. Wright give me this letter right before the trial? What could it mean? It's been quite a while, hasn't it? To what do I owe the pleasure of your company? It's not every day I'm summoned from my solitary cell. In fact, it's never. I think you already know, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Ah, Mr. Justice, I hear you've been doing quite well for yourself. Why do I feel like somehow he's still my boss? Stiff upper lip, Apollo. You can do it. Does this bottle look familiar? Aridoni nail polish? Why yes, I use it myself. As did the late defendant, I hear. She's not dead yet. And? Was there something concerning this bottle you wish to ask me about? I admit, I respect her for her taste in nail polish. Her taste, indeed. This nail polish was how Vera Misham was poisoned. Atricronine, was it? You're well informed about the case, Mr. Gavin. Even in solitary, much comes to my desk, and I have nothing to do but read. Well, Clavia, maybe you can explain this? You're being accused again. By him. Again. And you agree with this accusation, do you? Let's hold a proper trial, shall we? Christoph Gavin, your testimony, please. I'd be delighted. The charges against you are quite severe, Mr. Gavin. You are suspected of poisoning the defendant, Miss Vera Misham. Please testify on this matter to the court. Owning the same nail polish does not make a murderer make. Owning the same nail polish does not a murderer make. Even though it sounds off, it feels right. Whatever, we're going on. I have been in solitary confinement for half a year. How could I poison her? Her father died of the same poison, the meaning of which should be clear. The prosecution's case holds. She poisoned her father and intended to poison herself. Surely you aren't going to suggest I was responsible for poisoning her father, too. Well, I'm afraid the defense's claim is sounding rather unlikely. Naturally. For one, I don't even know the Meashams. Isn't that so, Mr. Justice? Very well, Mr. Justice. Begin your cross-examination. I'm accusing Christoph Gavin, my ex-boss, but I know he poisoned the Meashams. The question is, when could he have done it? Not to mention, why? Can't you still make contact with the outside world in solitary? Objection! Ah, so we had an accomplice on the outside. Is this your latest accusation? I'm allowed to a certain modicum of letter writing. Objection! But the contents of those letters are closely checked. It would be extremely difficult to send a hit request. Prosecutor Gavin's on the warpath, isn't he? Yeah, you think so too, Trucy? I bet I know why. He must be nervous with the big brother watching. Maybe that's a weakness I can turn to my advantage. Are we cool with that? May I continue? I'm waiting for everything because my bracelet's reacting. Damn, that is a glare. What's this? Wait, what's this? I never noticed that on the sprite. I saw it. That is a... It was you who killed Drew Measham. A bluff worthy of your new mentor, Mr. Wright. Oh, really? But you see, I saw it. Right when you said her father too, your hand tensed unnaturally, and a little devil appeared to give me the news. And, let's assume for the sake of the argument that you saw me being tense. What does that mean? Are all tense witnesses guilty? And tell me, was Drew Measham fond of nail polish too? Sorry, but there's more than one way to poison a man. You don't need nail polish to get someone's mouth. Then I must be very talented indeed. You see, Drew Measham was killed on October 6th, while I was already in my solitary confinement cell in Central Prison. If that's not an alibi, then I don't know what is. But you found a way, all the same. And I found it too. This is how you poisoned Mr. Measham. Take that! Oh wait, I'm supposed to do the stamp. My bad. Relax, Justice. I've come this far. I must know the answer. How did the killer get to his victim when the killer was in jail? This is how you poisoned Mr. Measham. The stamp. My bad. I'm sure this commemorative stamp requires no introduction. The night of Mr. Measham died, he was seen writing a letter. Atropine was found on the stamp, Mr. Gavin. So am I to understand this stamp was the murder weapon? Yes, you are. Oh, and yes, this stamp was found in your prison cell. That is all, Your Honor. Poison on the back of that stamp? After Drew Measham was killed, someone paid a visit to this witness's cell. Phoenix Wright. Dad? That's when he found the stamp. You made Drew Measham write you a letter. That's how you killed him. What? My. You've upset my poor brother to the point of uselessness. Allow me to clarify this matter, Justice. All you need to is to recall witness Spark Brushell's testimony. He was looking for a stamp. Ergo, he had no intention of using this stamp. What are you getting at? What I'm arriving at is that this commemorative stamp was in a frame. It was a mere coincidence that he used it that night. That would seem to be the case. Or perhaps you mean to suggest that I somehow manipulate the coincidence? He does have a point. How would this witness know if the victim was going to use that stamp? Without that, he couldn't have planned the murder. What the fuck? Really, Clavier? You should be seeing through the weak-spinned bluffs by now. He's right, though. How could anyone have known Mr. Measham would use that stamp that night? Least of all, Christoph Gavin locked away in his cell. Well, it seems that the defense has run out of things to say. He assumed he had something to say in the first place. I believe the defense's bluff has been called. The defense's bluff? I'm not so sure I agree with you there, Christoph. Clavier? Honestly, I wanted to believe you, but the defense wasn't trying to get away with a bluff. You were, Christoph. What are you saying, Prosecutor Gavin? Air forehead. What was your accusation again? Huh? Oh, it was that this poison stamp killed Drew Measham, yeah? To which my brother responded thusly, there was no way to know when Measham would use the stamp. Yes, that's right, which is why it couldn't have been planned. Objection! Tell me, it needs to be planned. Why? Why couldn't it have been a coincidence? The defense's case is simply that Drew Measham died by that stamp, that is all. Coincidence. Christoph, you tried to slip out from under his accusation by changing the subject. If that's not bluffing, what is it? What are you up to, Clavier? I could ask you the same question, Christoph. I silenced the defense with the fewest words possible. It's called efficiency. But Mr. Gavin, that's impermissible testimony. Very well. I shall take his claim head on then. Justice. What? You accuse me of Drew Measham's murder, yes? Then, allow me to ask you, what possible reason could I have to kill a painter? Apollo, motive. He's talking about a motive. Indeed. It's hard to see how an attorney could come up with a painter. Now here's something. Why didn't he bring up the motive from the very beginning? Unless he was afraid it was a battle he might lose. So, what does it mean? It means that there might be a weak spot. Maybe I have evidence to prove a motive. A motive for murder. This is vital, if not the most vital element in this case. Please consider this when making your statement. I'd say it's about this vital. That's pretty vital, dude. Well, Mr. Justice, I'm going through with this no matter what. Understood, Your Honor. I'd like to present evidence. Then, let's see what you have for us. What reason did Christoph Gavin have for wanting to murder Drew Measham? Christoph Gavin's motive becomes clear when we consider why the stamp came to Drew Measham's studio in the first place. And why was that? Forgery, Your Honor. Go back 7 years. Drew Measham accepts his first job creating forged evidence. I've seen that before. The page from a diary, wasn't it? Magnified Grammary's diary. When attorney Phoenix Wright lost his badge, yes. This was the evidence he presented to his loss. This evidence is a fake, yes. But did Mr. Wright request a forgery be made? That was never proven. Objection! The defense attorney on that case was Phoenix Wright. Who, other than him, drunk with the prospect of victory, could have done it? And why would they? Just out of curiosity, do you remember this letter? This is the first page. And this is to the second. Those were presented in court yesterday. This letter was sent to Drew Measham by the client who requested a forgery. The enclosed stamp was none other than the poison commemorative stamp. Drew Measham drew his last breath just the other day. However, the motive for his murder was already 7 years old. 7 years old? The client who requested this forgery was very cautious. He tried to erase anything and anyone with connections to the forgery, to keep them from talking. But he made a mistake. The killer's time bomb was delayed. The poison stamp was sealed within a glass frame, where it sat for 7 whole years. Air Forehead, do you understand what you're telling us? The one who schemed up the forged diary page was the one who poisoned the stamp, and it was Phoenix Wright who presented the forged evidence 7 years ago. Adding to the statements together, the one who schemed to kill Drew Measham was none other than Phoenix Wright. Objection! Sorry, but that's not how this is going to go down. Oh, then how will it go down? I checked through the records on that case when I found this. 7 years ago, just before the trial began. Oh, old boy. Here. What's this? I don't know. I just got it over there in the hall. He told me to give it to the old boy in the blue suit with the spiky hair. And one more thing. Phoenix Wright was put on the case the day before the trial started. He didn't have time to request a forgery. The day before? Now here's a question. Just who was Shady Ignigmar's previous defense attorney? No, this can't all be. But it is all true. There was another man, a defense attorney with a badge on his collar. It was you, Christoph Gavin. What is the meaning of this? Witness, defendant, former lawyer. Let me begin by denying this. Objection! It is easy enough to look it up, Mr. Gavin, and impossible to prove if you can't. Attorneys are registered with the court the day before the trial begins. In other words, no record remains in the court. How exactly did you intend to prove Phoenix Wright's claim? I'm afraid this line of inquiry won't yield. Objection! Air Forehead, are you sure you don't have evidence? What's wrong with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks clammy. Evidence! Evidence that shows this man, Christoph Gavin, requested the forgery 7 years ago. Clavier? Just prove it! Clear up these doubts now, or I swear I'm off this case. He must have thought of some evidence. Apollo. Prosecutor Gavin looks like he's in physical pain. That darkness. I have to pull that darkness out of him, and proof is the only way I can. What proves Christoph Gavin's link to Drew Measham? Well, Mr. Justice, your claim Christoph Gavin requested a forgery of Drew Measham 7 years ago. Prove it. It can be proven. Simply ridiculous. Why even discuss it? This evidence is not... Objection! Are you telling the truth, Apollo Justice? I am. Then, I say we give him the benefit of the doubt. Very well. But if you're wrong about this, be prepared for a penalty. Objection! Your Honor, you do the defense in justice. Mr. Justice is clearly passionate about his claim. Should the penalty not match his passion? I haven't given him a penalty like that in a long time. Well, Mr. Justice. Fine, Your Honor. All I have to prove is any kind of link. Shit, hold on, my fucking arm hurts. Oh, fuck. God, kill me. Something that ties Christoph Gavin to Germania. And I have something that clearly does the job. Okay, first of all, what is it? It has to be this. Or not this. This, right? Can I check what it is? It doesn't say Christoph Gavin on it though, does it? This has to be the only evidence that supports it. Because, like, not only that we haven't presented it, but it was found in his jail cell. We have to do it. I'm not even saving. Fuck this. Very well, Mr. Justice. Present your evidence. Show us the link between our witness and Drew Misha.
Take that!
This evidence proves there's a link.
Objection!
That scrap of paper? I'm afraid I can't let you submit that. Is there some problem? There is. How could you possibly have that? You couldn't. Hey, that's Dad's handwriting. Mr. Wright's handwriting? What is the meaning of this? Ah, I see now. Yes, of course. What do you mean, of course? I just remembered I had a visitor yesterday. Phoenix Wright came to my cell, except I wasn't there. Phoenix Wright? When I returned, I saw he had something of mine in his possession. Of course, I had no intention of letting him get away with reading my private mail. Mail? You mean this letter was in your cell? No. However, it appears Mr. Wright has yet to be cured of his bad forging habit. Well, if it's forgery, it's not a very good one. The handwriting's terrible. This is Mr. Wright's reproduction of what was written in the real letter. Reproduction? When Mr. Wright visited Christoph Gavin's cell, he brought upon a small video camera. What? He recorded his entire conversation with you, Mr. Gavin, and the contents of your personal mail. Regardless, this mockery of a piece of evidence will never be accepted by the court. Evidence based on a video a man with no authority whatsoever claims he took. A man who happens to be an ex-attorney suspected of forgery. Prosecutor Gavin? Prosecutor Gavin? As embarrassing as this is for me to say, I'm afraid my brother is incapable of making rational judgments at the moment. Your Honor, your decision, please. The defense's claim is denied. What? Only actual evidence is permitted in a court of law. Please remove the defense's evidence from the record. Better luck next time, Justice. Well, we've certainly taken a detour from our cross-examination, but the defense appears to be lacking proof. I'm forced to end the cross-examination of Christoph Gavin at this point. Apollo, do something! I'm thinking, but without evidence, I don't have anything I can use on him. Very well, this ends the special witness's cross-examination. Please say objection, Christoph.
Objection!
Yes! This show is over, yet the crowd screams for more. Only now do I understand why. Prosecutor Gavin? Frankly, I'm relieved. This has been bothering me for 7 whole years, and I'm tired of the whole youthful angst scene. Now's our chance. Let's clean up the family closet. Christoph? Clavia, you're spinning out of control. Calm yourself before you say something you'll regret. Spinning out of whose control? Mine or yours? Take a moment to consider everything you've built. Your reputation as a prosecutor, your fame with the masses. You could lose it all, Clavier. Apollo, did you see that? You should have pressed Prosecutor Gavin. Prosecutor Gavin, try to remember. What's really important to you? You amuse me, Air Forehead. I couldn't forget what's really important to me, even if I tried. In fact, I haven't. Not even once. 7 years ago. I'm familiar with the trial. I've watched the video several times. Didn't you find anything unnatural about it? Unnatural? Well, you did seem unusually well prepared. I mean, Mr. Wright had only just presented his evidence. And the next moment you call in Drumisham, it was almost as if... What? Funny, it didn't even occur to me to wonder. But now that I do, I see there's only one possible explanation. Almost as if, from the very beginning, you knew Mr. Wright was going to present that evidence. Correct. I knew that if I applied the usual pressure, Phoenix Wright would eventually come up with that forged diary page. Don't do this, Clavier! I knew because you told me, Christoph. What the fuck? It was the night before the trial. Clavier, Christoph, on seeing you at the prosecutor's office the day before the trial. I won't be appearing in a trial, actually. Huh? Why not? I won't be facing off with you on your first trial, apparently. But in exchange, I brought information. Information? The attorney who will be there in my place tomorrow is not to be trusted. Don't even give him the benefit of your respect. Listen, I want you to call in a special witness. Then... I wondered about it at the time. How did Christoph know so much? Prosecutor Gavin. Christoph, we were supposed to face each other in that trial. A fair fight, brother to brother. I deserved that much. You let me borrow the victim's belongings. You showed me all your research on the case. The victim's belongings? Which have been included in Magnify's diary, wouldn't it? Mr. Gavin? My, Clavier. You disappoint me. You find trees, yet miss the forest. You're the one missing the forest, Mr. Gavin. You can't sweep this under the rug, not anymore. Tell me what was going on behind that trial. Why not? I've achieved what I came here to do. I see no harm in a little reminiscing. Apollo, I think we're finally going to shine a light on the black belly of this thing, Trucy. We've done everything we could. I hope it's enough. 7 years ago, the day before the trial, I visited the detention center at the request of my client, Zach Grandmarie. 2 cards. Oh, he must have lost the poker game. 1 card. To be honest, I don't know what his reasons were to this day. As far as I could tell, he dismissed me as his representation because I lost in a game of poker. I can come to no other conclusion. Did I just say something? If you want to know a man, you have to compete. Zach wasn't watching his points or the cards. He was watching the man behind the cards, Christoph Gavin. I couldn't believe it. Phoenix Wright? A second-rate attorney who relies on luck and bluffs. He dismissed me and went with that pitiful excuse for a man? He deserved to die for that error alone. Hold it! So the one that requested a forgery was... Oh, I'm not admitting to anything. My point is, these 2 men shamed me, and I could not forgive that. Phoenix Wright and Zach Grandmarie both deserve what they got. So you asked Mr. Measham to forge that evidence, so you could win. But then when you were dismissed as Zach Grandmarie's attorney, You used your forged evidence as a trap. You fed me information about the forgery you made. Then you gave your dirty evidence to him. You're free to imagine what you will. My point is that I had to imagine it came to pass. Everything went perfectly. Incredible. If I wasn't laughing, I'd weep. Prosecutor Gavin? Perfectly? You're mad, Kristoff. Stop fooling yourself. What are you talking about, Krelivia? Tell me, how did that trial end? Cancelled when the defendant vanished. Ah, I get it. So, Kristoff, you've been living in fear for 7 years. What? You were afraid your forgery would be revealed and your reputation trashed. You couldn't leave things to chance, so you watched everyone involved with the case for 7 years. I knew this moment was coming. I just didn't think we'd get here so fast. Zach Murray gone missing for 7 years. Trucy's dad. What's wrong, Apollo? Go get him. Right. Leave it to me. Allow me to refresh the court's memory. 6 months ago, Kristoff Gavin was charged with murdering a mysterious traveler. I remember him quite well. Shady Smith, was it? Poisoned in a Chinese restaurant. Tragic. But the details don't really matter right now. What matters is that traveler was Zach Murray. What is it, Apollo? Huh? Keep going! We'll talk about it later. She already know? Someone please explain this. Mr. Justice, can you explain this? I can. It's all started 7 years ago. The great magician Magnify Murray's death started it. Magnify Murray's death and his student Zach Murray and the suspect. Whoever defended Zach in court successfully would be famous beyond belief. Thinking that, Kristoff did the unthinkable. He forged evidence. Actually, it was his daughter, Vera, who really did the work. You took precautions when you had that forgery made, didn't you, Mr. Gavin? Precautions? To keep people from talking, of course. These two know too much. Leave them alive and they'll be nothing but trouble. That's when you planned your poisoning of the forgers. Atrochrony. Applied to a commemorative stamp. But luck was on Mr. Meesham's side. The bomb didn't go off. His daughter. She saved him by taking the stamp, I see. But that wasn't the only bomb he set up. The Iridani nail polish, of course. You noticed something when you requested that forgery. When Mara Meesham is nervous, she has a bad habit. Of tendency to bite her nails. Ah, the nail polish was her good luck charm. It was his insurance. Insurance? As long as she lived quietly at home, there was no danger to her. But what if she had to go outside? If she ran into any trouble, she'd become nervous, and the nail polish would do the rest. His time bomb sat there for 7 years, and then they went off almost simultaneously. If you're finished, may I return to my cell now? I'm not accustomed to standing for such long periods of time. Mr. Gavin, have you heard a single thing we fucking said? Oh, I listened quite closely to your little tale. Quite an entertaining piece of fiction. What? Clavier, surely you understand. We're back to the evidence. The lacking evidence. Nothing proves a link between him and the Atrochrony that took Drew Meesham's life.
Objection!
What about the restaurant? You killed Zach Marie to keep him from talking. I killed no man of that name. Read over the report again if you like. The victim was a traveler by the name of Shady Smith, about whom we know little else. You can't seriously think I knew he was that particular fugitive.
Objection!
Okay, then why did you kill him? I plead my right to remain silent. Remember, this court did not convene to put me on trial. The defendant's name is Vera Misham, suspected in the murder of her father. My trial has been finished for 6 months now. I'm afraid we have strayed considerably from our purpose here. This court concurs with the witness. It is defendant Vera Misham who is on trial here. No, but you were doing so good, Apollo. As long as there is no evidence to support the accusation against him, this course of inquiry cannot find Vera Misham innocent. Your Honor, Phoenix Wright spent 7 years collecting this evidence. You still don't get it, do you? Let us assume there was poison in nail polish. Who, then, was responsible for causing Vera Misham to bite her nails? What? It wasn't me, I know that much. The one who brought that poison to her lips was you. Evidence is everything. There is nothing more. I believe this discussion has reached its conclusion. Your Honor, Mr. Justice, you have performed admirably well for our novice attorney. I respect your partner Phoenix Wright's determination as well. However, without direct proof, you have nothing. Isn't that right, Clavier? Unfortunately, yes, Christophe, you're right. That is, you would have been right until now. What? Did the news not reach your desk in solitary? The eyes of the nation are on this courtroom today. This is the trial case for a new judicial system. That's right. I'd totally forgotten. The jurist system. Jurist, you say? The current judicial system has been deemed too closed off from society. This new system attempts to inject the wisdom of common citizens into the law. Common citizens? Wisdom? Is this some kind of joke? What could we possibly gain from doing this? Entrusting our judicial system to a mindless emotional mob of irrational mouth breathers? Common citizens have something called common sense. Common sense is not restricted by the law. Nonsense! This is the only room for two in this court. Me and the law. Keep that riffraff out! Out, I say! They're not in the court, actually. They're watching everything by video camera. They just looked at me. That's so cool. That is so cool. How can you allow this? Incidentally, the one responsible for making this happen was Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright? So, everything was leading to this, of course. Right. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? He's staring into our souls. Christophe, it's over. Clavier! The law is absolute. You can't be serious. What? Odd. I thought you spent your life looking for loopholes. The law isn't absolute. It's filled with contradictions. The law is the end product of many years of history, the fruit of human knowledge. Like a gem polished to a gleam through trials and errors. It is this fruit we receive and pass on and face in our time. And it is always changing, growing. Nurturing it is our task as human beings. Except for you, Christophe. You aren't changing. You've stopped. You're not needed anymore. I couldn't think of anything to say. Maybe because I still haven't seen enough. But someday I'll know what law is. And I'll fight to change if I have to. I see no need to further prolong this trial. This began as a trial of Vera Misham, accused of murdering her father, the painter Drew Misham. However, several other incidents were reviewed and we seem to have reached a conclusion. Before this court declares a verdict, I await your decision. Jurors of the court, for the death of Drew Misham, how do you find the defendant, Vera Misham? Innocent or guilty? I turn to you now to consider this matter. Oh. This ends the trial for this case. Only the verdict remains to be decided. Defendant Vera Misham is currently in intensive care. The petition cannot be reached today. It may never be reached. The factors involved are simple. Did the defendant poison her father that night? If so, she is guilty. Or was it another reason for Mr. Misham's death? Did another person poison him? If so, she is innocent. As a panel has been provided for each of you to input your decisions. That is all. Number 6, please wait. Yes, jurist number 6? There's something in the jurist handbook here. Persons involved with the case may not be jurists. That is correct. I've looked into all your dossiers. None of you were involved with the development of the case. With the development of the case? I see. Does that answer your concern? It is time for your verdicts. Make your decision in the case against Vera Misham. After 7 years, the truth is ready to be heard. Judge wisely. Judge well. I called it. Oh my god. The first verdict under the jurist system. Innocent by unanimous decision. The record will show that when the verdict was announced, the special witness Christoph Gavin laughed. A laugh louder than any other heard before or since. A laugh that echoed in the halls of justice, lingering for what seemed like hours. October 10th, October 30th, October 10th, 8:30 a.m., the morning out of the trial. In an intensive care ward, a true miracle occurred. Vera Misham opened her eyes. Vera, I'm so glad Don't cry, Apollo. I'm happy too, and proud. You did well, Apollo. When I thought about what if Vera, Hey now, don't you start crying too. Sorry you had to see us like this. Vera? Thank you so much, Apollo. Thank you. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have pressed you like that. If I hadn't, you never would have bitten your nails. No, I was wrong. Staying locked inside that like that, clinging to my good luck charm. Vera, when I opened my eyes and saw you, I finally understood. It's important to be a part of the world, to see things with your own eyes. It looks like that poison had some effect after all. It killed off whatever was holding Vera back from life. I knew you pulled through, Vera. I mean, that's what Apollo was fighting for the whole time. Your future. I won't forget it. Here, let me thank you. No, really, it's okay. Ooh, look, it's me! I love it, thanks. Is that me? She really captured your essence, Apollo. Well, I think so at least. That reminds me. Do you know where the other lawyer is? The other lawyer? Oh, you mean Dad. Except he's not a lawyer anymore. It's my fault, isn't it? I'm sorry. Oh, no. That's not what I meant. No, it's okay. I'm through looking away from the things I've done. I hope I can look him in the eyes again someday and apologize. I'm sure he'd be happy to hear that. He brought all those things for me. when he came to visit earlier. You mean that stack of videos? Mr. Wright finished watching them all? You know, I knew my real dad was alive. Huh? I was there 7 years ago, remember? I was the one who helped him vanish from the courtroom. You did how? I'm not telling. He promised me that day he went away. We may not meet again for some time, Trucy. But know this, I will be watching, and one day I shall return. You're the next Grand Marie, after all. Oh, Trucy. In the end, he couldn't keep that promise, could he? It's okay, Phoenix is my dad now, even if he can't really play the piano. That he can't. Oh, and I've got you too, even if your voice is kinda loud sometimes. Glad I made your list. Hey, come to think of it, where's Dad, the one who can't play? Do you know Apollo? I think he said he had to meet someone. I wonder, maybe it's a new mom. Oh, Trucy? Yes, Vera? I was wondering, could you show him to me once more? Sir Hat, was it? Oh, he's not been knighted. Yet. Here goes. Do us an impersonation, Mr. Hat. Objection! Not loud enough, and I like Miss Magic Underwear better anyway. That's Magic Panties, Apollo. So, your memories returned. Mr. Wright, was this all part of your plan, too? I don't know what you're talking about. When I lost my memory, I was reborn as La Memoire. But you knew my true identity, did you not? That is why you chose me as one of your jurists. You're thinking you did it too much. Besides, there was no guarantee that regaining your memory would make you happy. Of course it is a happy thing. For so long I thought I was alone, but now I know I have children, 2 dear children. I'm so proud of them. This too, I think, is thanks to you. Are you going to tell them? They do not know? Nope. They don't know their mother. They don't even know their siblings. I'll go to them when the time is right. Until then, Don't worry, I'll take care of them for you. They're very important to me, too. A little annoying at times, but still. I have to keep an eye on her, at least. Because I'm the only one who knows how she really feels on the inside. Your bracelet. Yes? I've seen a lot of mysterious things these past 7 years. But your bracelets were the strangest of all. I remember meeting him half a year ago in Christoph Gavin's office. And then I met you. 2 fates destined to intertwine, and I was there when they crossed. I'll never forget that. Such a small thing, that bullet. Yet it tore who I was away. "10 years ago, during a simple rehearsal. It was a miracle no one died, but I didn't survive that accident. That is why I left the troupe, my family. Now my memory has returned. I am myself once more. For the first time, I am glad to be alive, Mr. Wright. Speaking of miracles, Vera Misham regained consciousness this morning. I can only hope she's as glad as you are. It is a strange thing, fate. Sometimes the life is taken. Sometimes the life is spared. You know what I've been thinking? People don't die that easily, really. As long as they've got something worth living for. And that's pretty much the end of my story, for now anyway. I still got a long way to go, and this power of mine, well, it needs some work. But there's hope now. We'd lost it, but somehow we found it again. That's why people are smiling again. Hope. Yeah, I think I'll keep at this lawyer thing for a while. Oops, training time. Gotta go. Cords of steel. Here comes justice.
Objection!
She has no idea that what she said was completely correct. Oh my god. God, Phoenix became such a dry-humored son of a bitch. I love that guy. I can't wait to play Dual Destinies, though. Is she eating them? She is, isn't she? guessing that's what Ivy universities end up being. Please tell us we have more shit. She is gorgeous. 2 treasures. I will think I'm gonna write my next song. That is so cool. Oh my god, that is unbelievably cool. Who's taking the spotlight in the middle? Oh, it's Vera. The door is open. The world is waiting. Thank you. That's so precious. That is so good. What a game! Holy shit! It's only 1 a.m. Oh my god, dude. I'm so happy that it ended that way. I'm not gonna go back and choose guilty. I'm gonna search it up because I do not want to choose that option because fuck you guys. Okay, I'm gonna find the ROM for Dual Destinies. This has to continue. I'm so fucking hyped. I heard that Ace Attorney 5, which was Dual Destinies, was the weakest out of the entire franchise. They did argue between 2 and 5, but I still suggest that there was no Ace Attorney game with a trial that was absolutely fucking horrid. Because there has to be some redeeming qualities to it. And besides, it was their first delve into, like, 3D and anime scenes, right? It is that new chick. Her name was like Sykes or something. I'm ready. Let's fucking do it.